I'm proud to say that we have 3 fantastic industry leaders. Our 4th one, Lon Strickland, who we love from Machinima, is at E3. This is the first time that expo has coincided with our festival. And as the positive person that I am, I said, let's spin this so it helps our filmmakers. And I emailed all 84 of you from 17 countries and said, here's the discount code for the hotel, the car, and the airfare. Thank you, E3, for that discount code. So without further ado, I'd love to welcome our panel. We're going to have Logan Mulvey from Go Digital, come on down. David C. Fein, who just wrapped with Star Trek, come on down. And Russel, Bert, who is an expert and in transition, come on down.
Hey, can you guys hear me out there?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. I think I've seen some of the same faces as last year, and I appreciate you being here, and I know Susan does as well, and hopefully this is insightful for all of you. We didn't do any prep for this panel. Our hope was that everything would be off the top of our head and then could be more real, and then we could have an organic conversation, because I think there's some really interesting things happening in the entire space of content monetization and filmmaking and short form and long form and TV and social and mobile. And I think we've got a group here that can really add some pieces to the conversation. So hopefully you guys will ask great questions and be open and honest with us, and we're going to do the same. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? That'd be great. Let everybody know what you're up to and what you're doing.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm David Fein. I actually produced for Star Trek The Motion Picture, the Director's Edition from years ago. She mentioned I just wrapped Star Trek. What I was actually doing is I just launched about 45 days ago a Kickstarter campaign to launch David Gerrold's The Star Wolf, which was a television series with David Gerrold, who wrote The Trouble with Tribbles, Dorothy Fontana, who had written and was a producer on the original Star Trek and a lot of classic Star Trek episodes, in addition to other ones where she helped develop the Spock character. And we had a group of Star Trek alumni, and so we were just working on them and got a lot of experience with the Kickstarter campaigns, and it's exciting as we were launching a television series using crowdfunding, and there's other things too, but I'll pass on.
Hi folks, I'm Russel, Bert. I had a longish career with traditional media with Sony Music in Australia. Spent a long time in New York. I finished that by joining a joint venture of Sony and Universal called Pressplay, which was the first legitimate digital music service, where we were trying to create a subscription music service somewhat before its time. This was a little more than 10 years ago. We did successfully build up the subscriber base and eventually sold that service and relaunched it as the new Napster, which has gone through several iterations since then. After that, the last 5 years or so, I've been CFO for a public company here in LA called Mendeley Media, which was primarily in the business of distributing digital content for mobile devices, primarily cell phones, which was certainly gone through a lot of transition the last few years and become a difficult business. More recently, I have joined a startup called Magic Leap, which unfortunately I can't tell you a lot about, even though I'm very excited about it. We are building a brand new experience, brand new platform that will have a great deal of connection with entertainment, with gaming, and with a number of other applications. So as I say, I can't tell you very much about it at this point, but all I can say is stay tuned on that one.
Sounds exciting.
Thanks for the applause, guys. I appreciate it. And just for a show of hands, so we understand as a group and we can tailor our conversation towards it, how many people in the room are filmmakers? So writer, producer, director, so a good amount. Actors? Yeah, same hands go up. Actor, model, dancer, director, producer, all in one. Well, good. I really appreciate that. A quick little ditty about me so you guys understand where I'm coming from. I started a company called Go Digital, and our main focus is finding independently financed films and aggregating them and distributing them across multiple platforms, domestically and internationally. So we'll find films at festivals like Sundance and South by and make them available in 100 million homes across North America, iTunes, Xbox, PlayStation, and sort of all the players in that space. And we really focus on finding niche audiences and engaging them and making sure that they are aware and will consume the content that we're selling. So that's where we are at this point. And I apologize if I sound monotone. I have a nasty head cold, so hopefully you guys don't get sick. There's a lot of conversation these days, and I'm sure you guys see it, about sort of content everywhere, and the barrier of entry is very low. I mean, with applications like Fein, almost anybody can become some kind of filmmaker or content producer. And I want to open it up to the group here and find out, like, is that necessarily better, that content is everywhere and everybody's creating it and everybody has an opportunity to maybe or maybe not get their project, their art seen by the world?
Well, it's wonderful we have the opportunity to get a project seen by everyone. So I mean, that's an obvious statement that you definitely want to see your project. But at the same time, I look at things that are on YouTube, and you have people that have 150 million hits, not 150 million, 1.5 million hits, to something that's the dog catching a frisbee. And when you have people that are working on telling stories, I'd like to see more of a separation between the two, so that when as filmmakers you're going to tell a story, your stories are not clobbered by the next dog with a frisbee. And it's almost as if I'd like to see that separation. I know YouTube is launching, or has launched their different channels for content, but the quality of the content would get the customers, is simply as I see it. But everyone should have a chance to tell their stories, and then you also have to be able to monetize it.
Yeah, I mean, just to really add on to that, I think the challenge is that the number of platforms, the number of avenues are just proliferating, and there is so much clutter. So the challenge is to break through that clutter and come up with new ways to do that. And it's going to continue to become a lot more challenging because there are any number of additional platforms being added to the mix. Everyone is getting into content distribution, whether it's and content origination and distributing, whether it's Netflix or Amazon or whomever, and it's going to be a real challenge. That's going to be probably, in terms of monetizing content, that's probably the number one challenge going forward.
And how do you not get lost in the crowd? I mean, when there's so much content out there, how can your quality product get out there when you don't have a studio or a network that's throwing millions of dollars behind promoting that show? That's the problem with so much content out there. Plus you have the MTV in the 80s reduced the attention span of people to tell a good story. Now you have YouTube, where in 30 seconds you've told different stories. Where can you go and tell your full narrative of a show and be able to have people recognize the quality of that when the attention spans are getting shorter and shorter to go with it?
The platforms are also going to have to deal with it because they're going to have to move towards some form of curation for all of the content. And the challenge for the content makers is going to be how to become part of that that ecosystem and rise to the top of the curation standards.
And I think one of you guys mentioned this earlier, and this sort of leads into another question and something I was thinking about. With Netflix and Amazon and Xbox and Google and Hulu getting into the content creation space and backing creatives to create products specifically for their platforms, who's going to win out, and why do you think they will?
Well, I don't think that Xbox is going to win out. And the reason I brought that up is that they just announced the Xbox One and announced it at a $499 price point. And for that $499 price point, you'll have the opportunity, I'm not sure if they're probably going to charge for it on top of it, to see a new television show by Steven Spielberg about Halo. Obviously an Xbox-centric title, but it's going to be a series. Who's going to win out? I don't want to have to go buy a $500 box to watch a show, even if it is by Steven Spielberg. What's going to happen is that whoever is the most cooperative, it was like years ago, whoever makes it easiest for you to appreciate your content, I think, is going to win out. Google had a Google TV first generation, and the problem was, with their content, was that they had go to this site to get these movies, go to this site to get these movies, go to this site to get this television show. And whereas when you went to iTunes, for example, iTunes said, well, wait a second, if you want to watch sci-fi, go here, and here's all the sci-fi shows. They've since really greatly improved Google TV, where they went to the same direction of you can get all of that content by description and by network. But I think what it is that we all want to sit home come home, put our feet up and say, okay, well, I want to watch sci-fi. There's all the sci-fi movies I can watch and shows. Whoever makes it easiest to get that content is going to win, not necessarily who's producing it. So if Netflix was exclusively letting their show only be on Netflix, which they are, if you don't have that, you may not be able to, if you don't have Netflix, you won't watch their show. So they're trying to get you to subscribe to their service for their show, whereas they should also, in my opinion, put it up on iTunes as for sale and let it just be what the customer wants. Because what really matters is whoever's sitting at home, they should be able to get what they want when they want.
I agree with that in terms of whoever makes it easy, and I guess I'd probably add on makes it easy to access anywhere, anytime. And I agree with the premise that I think Microsoft, Sony, PlayStation, whatever, are going to have an issue there, because while they're trying to move to that platform as the centerpiece of the lounge room entertainment, it's just not working, and I don't see it working. If you look at projections for entertainment going forward, it's all about mobile devices, and you look at surveys, people are, especially young people, are really viewing tablets as where they get their entertainment these days, and it's television is at risk of becoming a very much secondary part of the entertainment in the home. So I think the winners are going to be those that provide content where people want them anywhere, anytime.
I absolutely agree with you. And in order to win in the media, it should be Netflix. You should absolutely be able to turn around and say, well, have you seen this? And it's right in your hand. And without it being in the mobile market, it's so restrictive that I can't see the success. So absolutely, I agree with it.